How are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you perfectly, unfortunately. Oh. New week, new problem on the old Man Huggies production. We have been for 30 fucking minutes.
True.
I showed Joe my action figure collection.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a little weird, but oh, there it is. We're up. We're live. Yes. Angry Black Quarterback, episode 34. Still them boys with Elwood and 2.0. Yes, they've already been able to hear you to talk. Whatever. I said 8. I thought 8. I put 8:30 on the post. I got confused. Whatever. It happens.
There we go.
Your dad levels are through the roof right now.
Who, me?
Yes, you with the Rangers
bro.
trucker hat and the Rangers
wait,
polo
wait,
at 8:30 at night at home.
You don't even know. You think the dad level's where you think it's at? I'm about to raise that dad level another bar, son. These shorts I got on are zippered off pants that turn into shorts.
Okay, that's next level. I can appreciate
I bought
that.
them for disc golf.
See, and that's hippie.
And it actually
that's hippie,
came in fucking like we were playing Sunday, and I wore pants because I thought it was going to be a colder morning, and it got hot quick, and I was just like, oh my God, I have my zip pants that I just bought. And it was like, it's so funny what we in our youth like deem lame or uncool, and as an adult you're like, man, this is the most like logical fucking thing ever. Like, just makes sense.
Well, yeah, logic and convenience reigns supreme. But Elwood in Super Dad mode, thank you for being here. And 2.0, our East Coast. Well, you're East Coast, right? I guess, kind of.
Yeah, I'm as East Coast as you can get.
No, you can get
But he's
more.
Maine, right? You're Maine? Or
No, Maryland.
Yeah,
But I'm
Maryland,
on the water.
pretty much.
Yeah, but you can get more east in the water the more north you go, right? Like Maine.
Yeah, Roanoke
Yeah.
Maine's is
on
east.
water.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Maine is as east as it gets, bro.
Yeah.
So, but
Like East Coast, the East Coast is anywhere that's on the water, and I'm on the water.
No, I get it. That's but that's like I don't know. You're pushing it.
Well, then the only people that can say West Coast is the Alaskans or Hawaiians.
Well, Alaskans would be West Coast, right? They'd be like, yeah, they'd be super. They'd be so west, they'd be east. They'd get along with everybody.
But then when you consider Hawaii or is just Hawaii just like, nah, we're just
No,
ocean
Hawaii's
bitches?
standalone, dude. Hawaii's like it's their own thing. They're their own crew. Now maybe there's like
All right.
different island sets. I could see there being different
I'm
sets
trying
amongst
to
the islands.
I'm trying to distract the conversation so we don't got to talk about football this week.
Well, I mean, how's life been treating you guys? How was your weekend?
Good.
How'd your
Pretty low key. Not a whole lot happened. Just hung out with my girlfriend and yeah.
Oh, do you have an aw button? Oh,
I do.
Aww.
Right now I'm playing video of Cowboys fans losing the game.
oh.
And this woman throwing her hat.
What?
This other woman starts crying.
Why are people so upset with that loss? I actually didn't. I was upset in the moment. But I mean, we'll get into that game, bro. There's so much I gotta dive in. There's so much to talk
But this is what
about.
I'm saying. It's like we do this every week and whatever, but it's not.
What, squeak by less than a touchdown?
But no. I'm talking about like this podcast. But I'm not like live streaming myself watching this game, like having a meltdown. Why people do that is beyond me. It's always Cowboys fans. Cowboys fans are always live streaming themselves watching the game. And there's just tons of
I
saw tons
I
of
don't
them.
have time to even think about filming a TV when I'm like captivated with the TV. That's like my new thing. Karina gets mad at me. I gotta take pictures or post them when and I'm like, I'm learning to just like, I'm so captivated of what I'm doing. Or like say Moira, she's doing something and I'm just in the moment. There's not a thought process of like, oh, I need to take a picture and this has got to go. Or if I do take pictures, I don't have the energy to post it right away. I don't know how people do that shit.
Yeah. Well, there's some good college football this weekend. There was some good NFL football.
That's what me and Joe were talking about before you got here.
We'll go over
Michigan.
bets. All right, yeah. Well, we can talk about some other topics. We'll have to talk about the games of the weekend. I'm curious to hear about why you weren't upset. I was just saying it's goofy to me that people live stream themselves watching a game like that and having a complete and total meltdown. Like, I don't even really text during the game. I pretty much leave it alone. I have other people, they're all Cowboys fans, that harass me the whole entire game. Harass me the whole entire game. From like I wake up at 8 a.m. to a text from somebody that hasn't texted me in 4 months. Like, hey. That's it. I'm just like, hey, what's up? And I'm like being pretty nice. You think y'all are gonna fucking win?
Shit in the
well, yeah.
Chat during the game. I was over at Laura's house. We went and watched the game because our kids are in the same daycare class. We're just getting them together, and her husband Sean, he looks over at me, and I'm texting back that first text, like talking shit, and he goes, "Who are you getting heated with, right?" Like he just saw my face.
Yeah, I refrain. So he texted me a little bit. He somebody, I got a couple people doing it, but one of my buddies, he was texting me. I brought up how Jerry Jones was racist, and he didn't think he was, and then I sent him the picture of him at the school.
Oh God!
And then he was like, "Okay, well maybe he is, but that's not a surprise. Come on, we all knew that." But then I don't respond. I don't really talk shit during the game. That's not really my thing. I've always tried.
I've learned that too. I did that the whole Rangers series with
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah,
I have a really good friend that was a big Astros fan, and he was talking. Every post on Instagram was talking mad shit, and I was like, hold it in, James. You cannot talk any shit until this series is over. Because, yeah, I hate being that, like, because it revs up your emotions more, and when then that fails, it's like gambling. And then you lose on your first bet, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to double down, and you get more excited. And then you lose that, and you're like, it's just this.
If I was sitting in, if I had to like watch the game, like I had to be outside with the lights off. I was like, when did we make that big play? What was I doing? Where was I standing? Like roaming around. It was a crazy game, but yeah, I've never really been into like the whole talking shit during the game, just because it's like a little bit before, sure, but while it's going on, it's like I'm trying to watch the game. I don't want to be in my phone sitting there.
Or people getting in fights at stadiums during the game.
Yeah, you never want to get too drunk at a game, period. Like that's something you
Yeah.
don't want to do. But some people get fucking wasted. But yeah. So college football, y'all were talking about the Michigan scandal. Um,
Hmm.
what are your takes on it 2.0? How are you feeling about that?
I mean, so we were talking about if the NCAA will like do anything like this season, like maybe ban them from the playoffs or whatnot. And I feel like they should do something, but God, what was I gonna say?
Was it about your buddy?
No, it was about. Oh yeah, it was like so Michigan, like they've gotten caught in the past, but they've like done self-imposed fines, self-imposed penalties and whatnot. Like, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but I think the NCAA is going to kind of make an example out of them. Be like, yeah, you can self-impose all you want. That's good to a certain extent, but it's not a catch-all be-all. Like, if you do some serious shit, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And me personally, I hope they don't do anything because I have a buddy from high school that plays for Michigan. So I hope they don't do anything because I'd love to see him win the national championship, but that's my own personal opinion on that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Elwood?
Oh, I mean, I'm kind of there's both sides that I feel for. Like I was telling 2.0, it's actually I'll give Stephen A the credit for saying it earlier today. I heard like where they were talking about, well, it's unfair to all the Michigan player team, the players on the team, which I get. And then his rebuttal was, well, isn't it unfair to all the other players on all the other teams that weren't on a team that was cheating? And so, it's just one of those situations where, yeah, you can say both things that for both sides, it's just, and it sucks. And what I told Joe, it's like you got all these big coaches making money and it's their job while these kids are making an education and further job potential and making no really money, and all the adults are cheating and people are like, well, you know you expect the players to, the player, it's the players, responsibility to stay. And it's like, no, they have no say in all that shit, especially when it comes from the top, which apparently the more that's coming out is, Harbaugh is not innocent at all in any of this. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they're gonna do something for this season, they should have already done it.
I think
Like,
Harbaugh should not be able to coach beginning this weekend. Like he should already be.
was
And
it? Isn't he
if
suspended
if
for
he
like
was a
two, three
good,
games or some shit? Like it's dumb.
you know,
Like whenever they do this stuff, and now the landscape of it's changed. Now, granted, if he's out there and they have someone out on the sidelines dressing as opposing teams, coach and staff, taking notes on signals, that's super wild and fucked up and crazy and some like Ocean's 11 shit. So if you get caught doing that, or if other teams are doing it, that's crazy. Like that's.
well, didn't you hear about the sunglasses? That was like a video camera too.
But I mean
Like
that.
video camera sunglasses.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen professional football teams get caught with just big ass cameras roaming around stadiums, catching practices and special teams practices and all sorts of goofy shit. So I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying that this isn't something that's like new or out of the realm of possibility,
Right,
this goofy
right.
shit. Now, that being said, I mean, if they're going to suspend him, they should have already done it. It should have been for the season. You should suspend the coaching staff. Players, it sucks, but that's kind of. Transfer portal's a thing. I don't know. At what point do you have to give a school the death penalty? Not saying that Michigan deserves it, but at what point would you give somebody a death penalty
Well, it's
for
like,
doing something like this?
do we think
If it's that
do we think
serious.
back in the day SMU with them buying recruits? Do
Yeah,
you
but
think
that's
that's
but
worse
that's
than
out.
cheating
Yeah,
in games?
no, but that's out the window because now they can all sign NIL deals, so it doesn't matter. They can all do name and likeness, and they can go out there and make money. And you could go do Wendy's commercials like Caleb Williams. Now they can make money, so it doesn't
Right,
matter.
right. Yeah,
All that
yeah.
scandal was
Now,
just they
but
were paying people. Boosters were paying kids to go and paying for their shit. That's
which
basically
I
what
don't
it
have any
was.
problem with.
But and now they can do it over the table. So now it's something about cheating and cheating the sport or the game itself. That's and that's where it's different because now whenever it comes to
I'm saying,
paying recruits, people getting paid, college kids getting paid, that doesn't matter anymore. Like that's out the window. All these kids can get paid if they want to. They market themselves if they're good enough, right?
well, you asked.
What? Oh, your mic cut out.
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, what are your what's your thoughts? 2.0.
I mean, that's an interesting point. I hadn't really considered that. It's not, like illegal recruiting. It's not paying people under the table. Like, it's affecting the actual integrity of the game itself,
Yeah.
which is definitely bigger. It's a lot more serious and I think requires appropriate response. But I mean, considering I just thought about that, I don't have too much of an in-depth analysis on that.
Because at what extent is it punishing the coach and the coaching staff as opposed to punishing the school? Like, could you, suspend Harbaugh or remove him from coaching in the NCAA? Some people think he's already going to jet. Regardless of what happens, he's going to leave after the season. Maybe make a jump to the NFL. I mean, I don't know. He could probably weather this out if they end up even playing in the championship game. It'd be like he overcame all the scandal, and look at how resilient him and this team are, and how young it is, and look at this recruiting class. Like, I mean, he's a really good coach, but he hasn't really gotten over the hump with him. But he's a good coach.
You think?
But it seems
he just says fuck it and goes back to the NFL because there's a lot of teams that need coaches.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like this is where he's kind of got that John Gotti thing, where it's like, is he the one who's directing these people to go record practices?
Did you just watch
or
that
go hold on or
is that why you said the Gotti?
Well, no, I'm just saying in the just in the way that those organizations are structured is normally the person. Granted, they catch those people directing people to do stuff, so it's like you'd have to catch Harbaugh telling these people to actually go do it, for him to be really direct. That's why with this like Deflategate shit and everything, it was all dumb because at the end of the day, you couldn't really say that Tom Brady told them to go deflate these footballs, or you couldn't say that Bill Belichick was telling people to deflate these footballs, or was it people just going and deflating them? You couldn't really. It was like something happened and you couldn't really say what it was. So just to try to pin it on, it was Tom Brady telling people to do it. It's like, well, who told you that? Well, that's what it seems. Right, because I mean, and then they went to court and they suspended him to try to like prove some fucking point. So we see a lot of these organizations try to prove a point. Are other schools learning other people's signals and taking them and learning them? I'm sure. I'm sure.
I mean, Baker's proven he can do it during game on the field.
And now it's become this big, like honestly, like Ocean's 11 style conspiracy where there's like people and there's an acrobat and everybody's got to get this guy down on the field and he's standing next to head coaches and offensive coordinators and nobody knows who the fuck this guy is, says anything to him. They just let this guy wander the fuck around on the field.
Bro, it's college.
If you're that dumb that you're allowing opposing teams coaches disguised as just staff sneak into your game, that's so elaborate and ridiculous. But also you would have to notice that this guy's standing next to the head coach. Nobody knows who the fuck he is. He's holding a clipboard and writing shit down.
Be surprised with what confidence can get you through.
But it's like pictures. So what I'm saying is, it's like pictures of these people. They're like, oh, who is that guy? I don't know. It all seems super suspicious in the first place. The accusations are suspicious. Yeah, there's suspicious activity. I don't think you can 100% prove that Harbaugh was necessarily directing people to go do this.
But earlier to the punishment thing, the only reason I brought up SMU was because I didn't think what they did was all that, crazy or bad of a thing, and they got punished hard.
Well, yeah, that's
for years.
Well, yeah, that's why it's what. Well, you
so
think
if there is cheating that comes out, I mean, what should be done?
Other schools we saw get in trouble. Baylor got in a lot of trouble. And with Art Briles and all those guys, and they got rid of everyone. And fired the athletic director and all that stuff. They almost got the death penalty, and Baylor, pushed through. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can really do shit especially if he just decides to leave and go to the NFL.
I think at that point you penalize the school. Like, penalize the coaching staff if you can, and then penalize the school on top of that.
Yeah, and I think what the NCAA needs to do is they need to be fining these coaches directly. These guys are getting paid buku bucks. You want Harbaugh to not do goofy cheating shit. Don't suspend kids. Don't take stuff away from the kid. Hit him in his pocketbook. Make him pay. Give him like a $10 million unsportsmanlike like code of conduct, whatever the fuck, and make him pay a $10 million fine. Don't even.
And then you go in.
Don't even.
You go into the. Oh.
No, just suspend him. Like, give him a $10 million fine. Suspend him the first game of the year. Boom. That's all you got to do.
And then put him in the book of the cheaters. So, in any time there's a coaching job, they can go, oh, let's just search your name in bookofthecheaters.com here. Oh, you're a cheater.
And think about this, he can't really, and you could put restrictions on like when he could renew his contract to recoup some of that. There's a lot of stuff that you could do, but more than likely he's not going to quit. He's going to ride his job out because he just lost 10 mil. Like, those coaches get fucking paid nowadays. That's what you would have to do. You would have to fine the coach directly, not the university, not the donors, so people can just throw money at it, and people who want another fucking planetarium named after their second cousin.
Planetarium.
Broke their leg in the fucking old San Francisco earthquake, whatever the fuck. Don't let them pay it. Make Lincoln Riley pay it, because Lincoln Riley's doing something shady. And especially it's something along the lines of cheating. If you can prove that they were actually cheating, known cheating, people that were involved in it, I think you have to, all those guys get paid. That's really how you got to stick it to these coaches. They quit and go take another bigger paycheck, go get an NFL paycheck, go back after they suck in the NFL, then they go back to college and get a bigger paycheck because they're more coveted. It's all goofy. You got to find the coaches. You got to find them monetarily. Can't be scholarships, or can't be whatever. That doesn't matter. They don't give a shit. Now they have the transfer portal. So what, you could limit their transfer portal, how many kids they could transfer in, cut it from 20 to 5. Some shit like that. But it's, unless you find the coach directly, he's not going to give two fucks. The school's going to take the bullet. He'll quit. He'll either get fired or he'll walk. And if he gets,
or for a whole season, every game, they have to, before the game, give the opposing team their signals. And
what's going to happen? It's going to be like some Orgeron shit at LSU. Then you're going to have to offer me like $18 million in a buyout for me to walk away, because I'm not going to just quit and I have a good lawyer because you pay me like $8 million a year. So I'm going to, you can fire me, that's fine. We're going to litigate the fuck out of this, and you're going to end up paying me half, 60%, sometimes 100% of what my contract was owed. And you're just going to take that loss, take that L, lose those scholarships, find a young up-and-coming coach who's a good offensive coordinator at like Bowling Green or some shit, and make him your new young coach who's going to want to ride it out and go recruit kids to a school that's not bowl eligible for 3 years. That's what's going to, that's what's probably going to happen if you get rid of somebody like a Harbaugh. If you just penalize the school, who wants to take that job? It's not going to be A-list. They can't compete. If you're suspended from bowl eligibility and playing in college, half of those kids are going to transfer the fuck out of there. They're going to be down to bare bones. Mm-hmm. The way the system works now, they're going to be bare bones. Because all the good talent's going to transfer somewhere else. Fuck, they'll just go to Michigan State. No, I'm serious. They'll go to they'll go in droves, because no one's gonna ride that out. They don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I think that all makes a lot of sense. Like, go after the ones who are actually doing it, not just the institutions that they represent.
Because the institutions, to them, it's inconsequential. They don't care. Like, I mean, the coaches
Mhm.
aren't really punished. Like, they're not. They bring people back. Boom, welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
They recycle people like crazy, and I get it, but it's also mind blowing to me because that coach, those sanctions don't necessarily follow that coach. Like a Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin. That's partially why a lot of these old heads in football hate Lane Kiffin because he ended up bouncing around. He went to the NFL with the Raiders and left. Then whenever he was at USC, when he left USC, they had sanctions for doing all sorts of goofy illegal shit. He bounced out, dipped, and now he's a coach at Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is pretty good this year.
Yeah, they're top 10.
But he can do. He just like they all can navigate it. And they avoid because those institutions get stuck with it, and those kids suffer the consequences. At least now with the flexibility in the transfer portal, they can get the fuck out if they want to. Now they can leave that school, go to another school, and at least pursue their football dream somewhere else, rather than just being stuck, you know. And the new coach is like, no, I'm not going to let you transfer because that was fucked up. That was some weird shit. That was not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy.
That was.
Well, we're going to get into these games. Obviously. Oh, what's really sad about it? Week 9.
So much he doesn't even want to come on camera.
Yeah, week 9. First game, the Thursday game, was Tennessee Titans, Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw Will Levis get his second start, go up against Kenny Pickett. Levis kind of looks like he outdueled him, although he had one interception. He was 22 of 39 for 262 with one pick. But Levis has been slinging the fucking ball, and he's just been recently announced as the starting quarterback moving forward for this team. Shout out to him. I remember they said that his girlfriend left him after. No, I'm serious. He was made like third string or some shit. It was like this big deal, and then I read somewhere where they got back together. So I don't know.
Is he the Kentucky or the TCU?
Yeah,
kid?
Kentucky kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Where did the TCU kid go?
Duggar.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Some like
New Orleans.
New England, maybe.
I'm not sure where he went. I have to look that up.
Anyways.
And Kenny Pickett somehow wins again, but 19 of 30 for 160 and a touchdown. Jalen Warren 11 for 88. Henry 17 for 75 and a tutty. Deontay Johnson, who's been healthy, is 7 for 9 with a touchdown. Pittsburgh wins. Pittsburgh has been winning these games. You know, they're 5-3, pretty ugly. 5-3 is like the new 3-3. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of teams at 5-3. But they beat the Titans, who fall to 3-5. Their passing game looks better. I think Will Levis looks good. I think they're definitely lacking a lot of talent. They're missing some pieces. They're more on a rebuild than they are like competing, I think, at this point. So it's kind of surprising they didn't get rid of Derrick Henry or any of these other people. I'm surprised they didn't move anyone. And man, somehow I don't know how they do it, but the Steelers just keep winning games. They look terrible. Deontay Johnson 7 for 90 with a touchdown. The next closest was 3 for 25, and it's fucking Jalen Warren. Connor Haywood, Allen Robinson 1 catch for 10 yards. Najee Harris 2 for 7, 1 for 7, 1 for 6. George Pickens 2 for -1. And somehow they win these games. Their defense is good. Quan Alexander had a big pick. I mean,
Reynolds has been doing good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they look good. I mean, it's interesting. Their games are ugly, but somehow they're winning these close games and pulling them out. Yeah, I know his. And I think I said, like, man, it looks like his streak might be over. That was early in the season. That was an early overreaction, obviously, but somehow this team. I mean, if Kenny Pickett continues to grow and just gets better, and this is a sophomore slump for him, possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with Jalen. I think it's Jalen's sophomore slump. No, it's true. It's his second year as a full-time starter, right?
Yeah.
So this would be
God.
so it'd be considered a sophomore slump potentially.
This close to going out of the game.
Chiefs, Dolphins, yeah, on some dirty hits. We'll get into it. Chiefs, Dolphins, 21-14. It looked like the Chiefs were going to run away with it. Then Miami kind of came back. I mean, is Miami fraud? Are they just fraud, bro? Are they cap?
Yeah.
Are they cap?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. If you're physical with them, if you hit them,
Miami
they're
is
scared.
The Cowboys of the past.
No, you can't. This is offenses like no offense we've ever seen before.
No.
But they've kind of cooled off, so I wonder.
Number one offenses the past couple of years, always number one offense, number one red zone.
Well, yeah, but right now you guys
what do they do?
But right now I think y'all are dead last, or you're 29th in red zone right now.
I'm not saying right now.
Well, I know, no, that's a bigger.
I said past Cowboys. So.
But you know they were on a historic pace, putting up the fastest team to 2,500 yards, team total yards in a season, like all sorts of historic stuff, and they can move the ball between, the red zones, between the goal lines, but they can't put it in the goal line. That's been their biggest issue. So they kind of but they get a lot of big plays. If you're slow, if you take bad angles, if you're sloppy tackling that day, you can't be sloppy. They're really fast. Tyreek Hill, he had one run for 3 yards, 8 catches for 62. He's been held under like that 8-yard per catch mark. I think it's since playing the Eagles. He hasn't been going off like he had before. He's had like a touchdown. He's played okay, but not to the extent where he was to start the season. So I think
same with Waddle.
I think people are figuring out how to play Miami. So your defense, that bodes well for them because there's a formula to beat this team that exists. And the Chiefs, I mean, I'm still not that impressed with their offense. Their defense has been playing really good. That's really what you got to say. Their defense is playing great. They're flying around. They're getting after the quarterback. They're creating turnovers, getting sacks. People like Karl Loftus are playing big. It looks like some of the people they drafted and some of the choices they've made have been paying off on defense. This might be one of the better defensive units they've had, but the offense looks like it's lacking. We'll see. I'm still not convinced that they're just going to repeat. Some people think I think that right now the Ravens are playing better football than the Chiefs.
By far.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a tough game for them. They would run right at them. I think they'd have some issues with it. Then we have Vikings-Falcons. Vikings won. Weirdest game ever. Tyler Heineke got the Falcons start. He was 21 of 38 for 268 touchdown pick. Joshua Dobbs came in after the starter got knocked out and was 20 of 30 for 158 with 2 touchdowns. He also had 7 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown.
Bro, they're gonna make a Disney movie about Dobbs.
Yeah, and they won. He ended up coming in. They didn't even know his cadence. There's this video circulating where he's like, they're learning how to do his cadence, and it's all like, oh hey, like on the sideline right when he's going in. But yeah, Josh Dobbs pulled it off. Jaron Hall got knocked out. Cam Akers tore his Achilles. He tore his Achilles like 2 years ago, I think, or a year and a half ago. Came back on short notice. That's really sad. He's super talented. They just traded for him. But yeah, they spread the ball around. Vikings win. So I'm saying Vikings 5-4. That 5-3, 5-4 mark is like a universal number right now. And it's really weird. But there's a lot of teams at 5-4, 5-3, especially in the NFC. But when Falcons lose, it doesn't matter who's playing. If it's Ritter or if it's Heineke, Bijan Robinson 11 for 51. Algier, 12 for 39. They had a long touchdown catch by their tight end Smith. Other than that, it's pretty uneventful. Kyle Pitts still underperforms. I don't know. They had a lot of sacks. The Falcons got a lot of sacks, so I'll give them that. Where does it say? Oh, the Vikings had 4. Yeah, no, sorry. The Falcons had 4 sacks. They only had 1 for them. Do the Vikings make the playoffs without Kirk Cousins? That division's kind of wide open.
Well,
I mean, I don't see how they beat the
Lions.
Lions.
But what if the Lions just knock themselves out of contention in the division? Or do
In
they even get a
typical
wild?
Lions fashion.
It's possible.
is Jefferson out for the year?
No, he's cleared to come back.
No, he is.
Yeah. Then we had
Okay, well then, yeah.
Bears Saints. Saints beat the Bears. Bajent 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, 18 of 30. Derek Carr 2 touchdowns, 25 of 34. Taysom Hill, the most annoying person in the world, 11 for 52. Good game. Two bad teams. And guess what? New Orleans Saints 5-4, and the Bears are 2-7. But it looks like Fields might be coming back. He's been seen throwing the ball at practice with his helmet running around, so we'll see. Coming back from that hand injury, but Saints 5-4. NFC South, terrible division. Then we had the Rams and Packers. Packers beat the Rams 20-3. The Rams have started Brett Rippon, 13 of 28 for 130 and a touchdown. I believe Brett Rippon was drafted by the Eagles, and then he'd be someone we moved around. Jordan Love was 20 of 26 for 228 and a touchdown, no picks. But the Rams have just signed Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that?
Save that though.
So there's this thing where there's this meme where it talks about how it's like coming full circle because Carson Wentz was drafted second behind Jared Goff, right? And then they traded Goff to get Matt Stafford, and now they're signing. Now they're signing because Matt Stafford was signed to replace Goff. So they drafted Goff and then traded for Stafford to replace Goff, who they drafted number 1, and now they're getting the guy who was drafted number 2.
Wasn't Wentz drafted with Mariota?
No.
Oh. I'm thinking of someone else. Never mind.
No, who was drafted with Mariota? Was it Jameis Winston, was it? No.
Mm-mm.
We'll have to look that up. But they did just sign Carson Wentz. That'll be
Thinking of Nick
interesting.
Foles.
And the Packers 3-5, Rams 3-6. That's where it's like, yeah, like are the Vikings a better team than Green Bay right now? Yeah, that's weird, but yes, they are. And like there's only like 2 teams really competing in that division. It's the Packers and the Lions have gotten smoked a couple times and have been getting beat. They look like they're good, obviously, and they play tough, but they can be got. They will turn the ball over. That's an interesting setup. You got some time. Commanders beat the Pats. Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell's like eventually going to be the truth. But he's 29 of 45 for 325, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Mac Jones, 220, touchdown, a pick. Robinson played well. Stevenson, McLaurin, that was a good game to watch. 4-5 Commanders. And then Patriots are 2-7, but 2 teams that probably aren't going to make the playoffs. But like I said, Commanders are going to be a pain in the ass. They're going to fire everybody. And they just traded away Montez Sweat to the Bears. And then they traded away Chase Young to San Francisco. So their 2 best pass rushers, 2 first-round picks that they've drafted. They traded away their 2 outside line players to other teams in contention. Well, I guess the Bears aren't in contention. And he just signed a 4-year, $98 million deal with the Bears, is what Montez Sweat just signed. So that'll be interesting. But they traded away and they got more draft picks. They're totally investing in their future. They're trying to dump big contracts, dump people. This whole team of the Commanders is doing a complete revamp, and I really, really, really hope they give Eric Bieniemy the opportunity to be the head coach there. I think he would light it up, and Sam Howell is still a rookie, but you see what he's able to do. He competes at a high level. He throws the ball around. He throws a pretty deep ball. I mean, he can scheme with him. He has all the ability, and the kid's tough as fuck. Like, I mean, he lit up the Eagles twice, and that's not that our secondary's obviously got its issues, and so we're not that great. But the fact that he's able to go out there and in a short window and play us twice, be that competitive, he's poised. I mean, Sam Howell, I think, is awesome. Patriots, I don't know. But, you know, I don't think the Commanders are trying to win games or trying to lose games. They just want to play hard, which is cool. And they're going to have a bunch of draft picks. They got a lot of draft picks next year. There's going to be some skill position players, some other receivers, offensive linemen, other pass rushers. They could make a play. They could trade Sam Howell and to somebody else and make a play to go get number 1 overall pick. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, you think Patriots are gonna fire Bill?
I think didn't they say no? They worked out some extension in the off season and private. Like, he's not going anywhere. He's probably gonna be there for another 3 or 4 years, and then he'll leave. I think he's probably gonna stay another 3 or 4, and then he'll dip. I think that's the thing. He wants to make one last run, because Tom made his run. Hold on, well, Tom made his run and did his thing, and he wants to make his. He wants to prove his own point. Tom made his point. He went to another team, won a Super Bowl with the Bucks, despite how loaded the fucking Bucks were. If you could cherry pick a team to go be the quarterback of on short notice, that's a great list of people. You got 2,000-yard receivers, fucking all these. You got a first-round pick you spent on Tristan Wirfs. Like, okay, now draft a lineman and I'll come to you. And then they did. And then you get all these randos just showing up out of nowhere. So, I mean, I think Bill wants to make another run to prove a point, but I think the Commanders' future is more bright than the Patriots in a 3 to 4 year window. And because we're seeing a whole new, the Commanders' name could be different. Who knows? But, yeah, they beat the Patriots. Seahawks get smoked by the Ravens. So the Ravens have been playing really good NFC teams and kicking the shit out of them. 37-3, and whenever they played the Lions, it was 38-6 or some shit. Seahawks got destroyed, not running the ball, Gino throwing it, turning it over. Are the Ravens the best team in football right now?
Top 3 at least.
Yeah, because they're the best in the AFC.
Yeah, they're definitely playing the best football. Yeah, I mean, they got skill position receivers. They have skill position guys who can get open.
Yeah, imagine if they still had Dobbins.
Well, I mean, that's, I guess, because as somebody who drafted him in fantasy football in a keeper league, had him for a bit, he got hurt. I kept him. So I drafted him. He barely played it as a rookie just because they had good running backs. Then the next year he was going to be the starter, so I kept him, and he blew his knee out in preseason. I was like, motherfucker. This dude's always hurt. Well, I don't think we've ever seen Dobbins really at 100% playing. It's sad. He is super talented. He is one of the few Ohio State players I actually liked. I hate Ohio State for the most part. He was one of the few ones where I was like, fuck yeah, I fucks with that guy. Like Braxton Miller. I really like J.K. Dobbins. There's some of them where I was like, hell yeah. Terry McLaurin. I really like McLaurin. There's some of them.
Zeke.
No, fuck Zeke. There's a few that I was like, I dig. He was definitely one of them, but he just can't stay healthy. We've never seen what that would be like. So maybe that's good. Because they had our rookie, this last week, just run all over everybody in this game. Keaton Mitchell, 9 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Wild. But I mean, time of possession, Ravens 40 minutes, Seahawks 19 minutes and 56 seconds. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Other game. This game was crazy. Awesome ending. I watched it. I mean, CJ Stroud is the truth. But Texans come back and beat the Bucks like final seconds of the game. Last 6 seconds. Baker Mayfield played, as far as he goes, great. 21 of 30 for 265, 2 touchdowns. Their running back Rashard White had 2 touchdowns. Evan 4 catches for 87. He had a big catch, but he got called for offensive pass interference. C.J. Stroud 30 of 42 for 470 and 5 touchdowns. Crazy. And the game-winning touchdown. He threw it with 6 seconds left, a 15-yard pass to Tank Dell, the other rookie. He was slinging the ball all over the place. They put up 500 yards of total offense, 8 yards per play against a good Bucs defense. With no picks. 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's got 15 touchdowns and 1 pick or something wild like that. I jinxed him on that pick too, so but I appreciate him overcoming it. Shout out C.J. Stroud, and then Noah Brown 6 catches for 153. But this is an offensive shootout. This is like a college football game. They did Dalton Schultz 10 for 130. Ooh, I know that hurts. Tank Dell 6 for.
Miss me some Schultz.
Tank Dell 6 for 114 with 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins 3 for 54 with a touchdown. That's crazy. So you had 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Great. Future looks bright, and you have Anderson on their defense. He's making plays. He's running around doing his fucking thing. I mean, they're not bad. This team looks good. They have a bright future. They drafted the best quarterback. It looks like. Cardinals Browns. Cardinals lose 0-27. Not much to say there. Mari Cooper 5 for 139 and a tutty. I know that hurts. Deshaun Watson 219, 2 touchdowns. Arizona says that Kyler Murray's playing this week. Does this change anything about how good you think the Cardinals are? Is this team better with Kyler Murray playing?
Only if you're wearing that tank top.
Is the running, if he comes back and he is able to play regular Kyler Murray football, does the running game and does the offense change? It does. If he's able to go out there and make plays with the way that offense is meant to be structured and with the skill position players they have, I mean, I don't think they make the playoffs. They had 58 total fucking yards against the Browns, who are also 5-3. That's a game I'd watch. Cowboys Browns. That'd be a good game. That'd be a really good game. Denzel Ward again. You have Denzel Ward going up against, and you have Amari Cooper going up against CeeDee Lamb, because Denzel Ward will follow people, right? He plays, I think, both sidelines, I believe. That'd be a good game. Potential Super Bowl preview. But 58 total yards, 17 passing yards, 41 rushing, 1.2 yards per play.
Is James Conner back or no?
It doesn't matter. You're throwing the ball for 17 yards. 1 for 12 on third down.
Going back to your original question, I think
9
James Conner is more important to the offense than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he's a system quarterback. He's not going to go out there and win you games by himself. He needs pieces around him.
No, true, but
the Cardinals are night and day without James Conner.
It's wild that they're going to even play him, because they had 7 first downs. They gave up 7 sacks, had 9 punts, 1 lost fumble, and 2 interceptions thrown. And they lost time of possession 36 to 23 minutes. So it's not like they had the ball. They were just they just taking their time and saying, "Hut," and just running it. They're just milking the clock all game. Colts beat the Panthers. Colts 4-5, Panthers 1-7. Bryce Young 3 picks, came back down to earth. I don't know, not much to say. Don't draft. They shouldn't have drafted Anthony Richardson. Raiders kicked the shit out of the Giants. And Tommy DeVito, hey, I'm playing quarterback over here. Oh, watch me throw it deep. That's who's going to be playing the Cowboys this week. So you guys got a gimme of a game. You better kick the shit out of the Giants, man. Take all that Eagles rage out. Take it out on the Giants. Because you're playing Tommy DeVito. Hey, it's me, Tommy D. Said hut. Lasagna. Bake ziti on 2. Break. Hey. You coming to the game? Ma, you coming to the game? You gotta be there, Ma. I need you in the stands. I can't play. Tommy D needs you, Ma. That's but they got their asses kicked. 2-7. Raiders 4-5. And they won a game. Aiden O'Connell played 16-25 for 209. Jacobs 2 touchdowns.
They just ran the ball everywhere.
Puffing on cigars, Antonio Pierce, interim potential future head coach. Shout out Antonio Pierce. Annoying as fuck middle linebacker for the Giants, but good player. The whole vibe of this team was different. And some people say O'Connell might be the most polished of all the quarterbacks that came into the draft. He played the best in preseason, but you never really got like a chance during the regular season. No Jimmy G. They moved on from that. It's new year, new woman for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I mean, that's a gimme game. So I think the Giants are just kind of floating around. And also we did see Daniel Jones tore his ACL and he's out for the year. So that's rough. But he was running for his fucking life back there. So hopefully Tommy D's been stretching because Cowboys are coming after him. Michael Parsons, 3 sacks. 3 sacks this game. And then they pull him and they start playing people. They start playing there'll be lots of shots of him on the sideline being like this, holding his pads. That's what's gonna happen. That's stupid shit. Oh, we'll save the best. We'll save the best for last. Bills beat the Bills lose to the Bengals. Bengals 5-3. Bills 5-4. So I'm saying this is that weird magic number where now the Bengals look like they're good again. 31-44, 348, 2 tutties for Joey Breeze. Mixon had a touchdown. T. Higgins 8 catches for 110 yards. Allen everything. Touchdown run, 8 carries, 44. So, he got knocked around a touchdown, a pick. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 86 and a touchdown. Bengals look good. Bengals look like they're playing like their top 3 team right now in the AFC. They're playing football like a top 3 team right now in the AFC. If they're playing like that. And if they're firing on all, if they're healthy. They've had their, we're not going to do shit for a couple weeks that they have every year for some reason, it seems like. And then they wake the fuck up. It's like they're hibernating and they got to wake up a little bit. And then they start firing. Joe Burrow looks like his calf's fine, his knee's fine, his ankle's fine, his ass is fine. He's just looks like he's running around and having fun. He's making those runs, those scrambles. They're moving him around in the pocket again. The offense really seems to have opened up. T. Higgins is playing for a contract because I don't think they re-signed him. So he's a free agent after this year. So you can tell T. Higgins is going out there balling right now. They look good. I mean, the Bengals look good. Bills, I don't know. I don't know who the fucking Bills are right now. Josh Allen's turning the ball over a lot. He's turned the ball over quite a bit last year. It seems like they've regressed.
Is their championship window closing?
Well, isn't that what supposedly Stephon Diggs said? Has our window closed? ? I don't necessarily think it has, but I mean I don't know. They're running out there Von Miller on like his 3rd leg. Like it's like they were in such a win now mode. What made them good and what they'd done well was draft and like grow a lot of talent that they brought in. Now I feel like they've really looked for like a shortcut to get them over the hump. And they've tried to, go out and get somebody or go, they're like, okay, well, we'll add Diggs. That's great. But now it's like, oh, we need Von Miller, and oh, we're getting now they pulled in Eagles. They brought in Lindell Joseph. Lindell Joseph's great, but he's probably better in our defensive line rotation than he is in the Bills because we have young guys, older guys. You know, some of the best, like Jalen Carter will play like 20% of the snaps, like because that's how many people we rotate through. Lindell Joseph's like an older dude, not bad, but a rotational guy. Now you're signing him to help you on defense because of that much injuries. You lost Milano, your starting linebacker, who's like your Pro Bowl linebacker. He's great. He's out for the year. They lost their best corner in Tre'Davious White again, which is tragic, but he's out. I mean, I don't know. I think their window has closed. I don't know if they make the playoffs this year. Like play-in. They could be in like a play-in game type shit. If they stay like this, because the Eagles have a tough schedule. The Cowboys have a tough schedule. Our teams aren't bad. They have to play us the fuck too. It's not like, oh man, we got to play the Bills. Like, no, okay. Like now, I would let's play the Bills. Like I'm down to play the Bills right now. Yeah, Diggs is good, and they have some talent at tight end stuff. That's fine. Like we'll shut down their run, make it really difficult for them, make Josh Allen run around in circles, and he'll run into somebody like Josh Sweat 3 times and they'll just get sacks. Like he runs around like a madman. So okay, like I'm sure you feel the exact same way, Elwood. Like okay, I would love to play the Bills right now.
Well, that's why 2 weeks ago the end of our schedule looked a lot scarier than it does now, and that's with Lions, Dolphins, and the Bills.
Well, I think that the Lions will just be tough for y'all because, like, I mean, Campbell played for the Cowboys. They're going to be jazzed up for that fucking game. And that's going to be a primetime game. So that's going to be a tough game no matter what. Like, I think whenever we play a game, that's a primetime game. When y'all play Miami, depending on how the playoffs look for both of y'all, that could be a primetime game. There's going to be a lot of our games are going to be, you're going to see the Bills a lot because they play both of us. We both
Honestly, out of all those, I think the one that scares me the most is Washington. Because, like you said, they're going to play hard, and they're division rival, and they always will play extra hard against Cowboys.
They're gonna game plan to like spread your defense out and make it hard to get after the quarterback. They're going to get rid of the ball. Eric Bieniemy's a great schemer, and he's really good at that. That's like his whole thing. If he can draw it up, yeah. But Bengals look legit. Bills look like frauds. Chargers beat the Jets. The Jets are the Jets. Jets 4-4. Chargers 4-4. I still don't think the Chargers make the playoffs. I said that last year and they barely made it, so I was wrong. But I also said Tampa would make the playoffs. The Niners, and what was my other one? I had like, and then I was definitely wrong about the Niners. I was almost right, and then they put in fucking what's his Brock Purdy's ass, and they slowed.
What about the Jets? You think the Jets make the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't think so. Their defense is good. I think they have a good foundation. They should probably focus on getting draft picks and getting more capital, trying to get rid of maybe some bad contracts that they might have, re-sign some of the good players. Like their defense is great. They got to get over the hump on offense. I think you give it one more year, one more shot with Aaron Rodgers, see what happens, and kind of go from there. Because he can throw the ball. So it was in his arm. And I think if you get some draft picks, or maybe even move some of these good young pieces you have, invest in draft picks, and you beef up the offensive line and really make sure you focus on protecting him, get him another really good, big, solid tight end. You know, go out there and get those pieces for him. I think that you could be very competitive with someone like Aaron Rodgers and those pieces. They just need to, like, you know, without him, even with him, I think they'd still be struggling. But I think they'd be like one of those 5-3 teams. I don't think they'd, but they're 4-4, so I still think they'd struggle but I think their defense keeps them in so many games that maybe I guess a couple games. Okay, maybe they're 5? Yeah, they're 4-4. Then maybe 6-2. Maybe because I think that he'd probably get them over the hump in a couple of close games. Like in our game, it wouldn't have even been as close as it was if we turned the ball over 4 or 5 times against Aaron Rodgers. He's going to light the Eagles the fuck up. doesn't gonna light anybody up. If you give the ball to Mahomes 5 times, Mahomes is gonna light you to fuck up. Dak would light you up. Jalen Hurts would light you up. That's literally like what those guys are built to do, is capitalize. Yeah, but I think they're still competitive. But I think you could be definitely competitive in that division next year with a lot of the talent you already have, and you bring back Aaron Rodgers. If that means trading Zach Wilson for draft capital, I think you do that too, if you have to. Because
I would want Zach Wilson.
There's somebody who'd want a backup, like New Orleans. I could see Denver taking somebody like that and being like, oh, he's got all this talent, and Sean Payton could make him good. And if we bring him in, then we don't have to use that draft pick that we'll use, like people used to do with Sam Darnold, and we'll use that draft pick to get something else to make him better, because he's not that bad. It's just the coaching was bad, and I can make him better. It's possible. Watch what I can do with him. Watch what I can do with him to hit Nathaniel Hackett. Boom. Stick it to him. He's like, God damn it. All right, final game. Cowboys-Eagles. Eagles win. I know it's tough for you. I know you're dead inside, and I know it was an ugly, honestly, full disclosure, ugly game. The last 10 to 12 minutes of it was all officials. It was so obnoxious. I didn't care if it was even a flag on y'all against the Eagles. I was like, just stop throwing fucking flags. Like, oh my God. Every 2 seconds there was a fucking flag. Both quarterbacks played well. Dak played great. Stats are a little overinflated because he did chuck that big Hail Mary there at the end. So, he finished with somewhere around like 330, 335, 3 touchdowns, minus the Hail Mary. He played great. CeeDee Lamb, 11 for 191. He played really good as well. Eagles secondary banged up.
Yeah, that's one of the better things I can take out of that game is this is 2 weeks in a row now that Dak and CD are on point with each other. Well, and if we can just somewhat get Cooks involved with that combination, I mean, I just feel like Cowboys offense can do some damage.
Yeah, the Eagles have some injuries in the secondary. So we were starting our undrafted free agent.
Bro, I'm not going to lie.
No, Eli Ricks. And Eli Ricks is
so happy.
Eli Ricks is pretty good.
Limp off.
That's terrible.
He had to come back. Well,
that's
not in this
terrible.
Him, but I was just like, man, this game's.
That's such.
I was just like, that doesn't
shitty.
Look good.
But all right,
I knew if Jalen Hurts went
all
out,
right, well, hold on.
we were gonna win.
Don't get ahead. But CeeDee Lamb was They were playing CeeDee Lamb a lot in the slot. The way the Eagles play defense, they had Eli Ricks, who's this undrafted free agent from LSU, also played at Bama, really talented, kind of crazy, but he was undrafted. And CeeDee Lamb was just eating his fucking lunch. I think they threw the ball to him 4 times. It was like 4 times for 59 yards and 4 first downs. Like, he just couldn't keep up with them. He put a clinic on him. It was definitely humbling. And then Jake Ferguson, 7 for 91 and a touchdown. Tolbert, 3 for 49 and a touchdown. Gallup, 2 for 19. Where is Gallup? Running the ball, they didn't really have much. It was 12 for 51. Then 6 for 14 for Dak. Then on the Eagles
I don't know
side,
why, like, they've shown, like, Pollard is not an up-the-gut running back. He is on the perimeter. Once he gets his speed, that is his biggest advantage.
Yeah, but
who has shown, if you watch the games, like, Dowd, how do you say his name? He's actually been pretty impressive up the gut for the Cowboys. But yet, it's just like they want to use... It's like we got away from... Like, Zeke and Pollard had 2 different definition as backs, and we used them differently. And now we just use Pollard and Dowd the exact same way when it's clearly showing, like, Pollard does not do good on the inside. He goes too fast. He doesn't really have patience, and the holes just collapse right in front of him. He just runs into people.
Well, and then we'll get into those little caveats in a sec. But we'll get through these Eagles stats. Jalen Hurts, 17 to 23.
Oh, God, you
Well, I went through all of your guys' stats and gave you praise. I give both sides.
True.
17 to 23 for 207 and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts was playing hurt, knee brace. He took a ding on kind of like a weird low shot by a D-Law.
Has anything come out this week of like what that injury was or what it is?
No, I mean, but he played. I mean, Jalen Hurts has been playing at a high level. Whenever Jalen Hurts is playing from behind, he has the highest QBR in the NFL right now. Whenever he's playing from behind, and what's wild is up until this year, we haven't seen Jalen Hurts come back in the second quarter and win a game. And right now, while trailing, he actually has the highest QBR. He's the highest rated passer in the game when I've been behind, like down a touchdown or more. He's the bat. He's like on fire. It's crazy. DeAndre Swift, 18 of 43. Jalen Hurts, 10 for 36, a touchdown. Gainwell, 3 for 22. AJ Brown had 7 for 66 and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 3 for 51 and a touchdown. Goddard, 3 for 50, 2 for 31 to Swift. Zacchaeus, I love Zacchaeus. 1 for 8. Eagles defense, their defensive line really wore down the offensive line of the Cowboys throughout the game. I mean, the Cowboys won
particularly Steele more than
Cowboys,
the whole line.
Cowboys won the yards game 406 to 300. They passed for 333, rushing for 73. Eagles won the rushing game. Yards per play went to the Cowboys 5.8 to 4.9. Cowboys had 7 more first downs. They did worse in third down. Eagles were perfect in fourth down, but Cowboys were 3 for 5. Cowboys had more plays. Cowboys gave up more sacks, punted less, same amount of penalties, 10 for 83, 10 for 98, which is wild. Cowboys lost a fumble. Eagles saved 2. And then the Eagles having less first downs and everything, were pretty much even in time of possession.
Time of possession, yeah, I saw that.
I mean, it was a good game. I don't like the whole concept of like, it's a moral victory. Like, the Eagles have not played their best football. They're still not playing their best football. Their offense is definitely getting better and clicking more and more. I've noticed throughout the season, it seems like in the first half, they do all this weird shit. And then right after halftime, the Eagles just start running the ball and just start pounding people. From the third quarter, that's all they did the third quarter was basically run the ball on the Cowboys and just smash them, get it in the red zone, take a shot to Devontae Smith, just run the ball. They start leaning on people. So it's the same with the D-line because they could not get after Dak for shit. That whole game, Dak was having some pretty good time for the most part. Steele had some issues, but Steele really had issues late in the game when it's like, all right, it's Josh Sweat's 30th snap. It's Terrence Steele's 45th snap. Josh Sweat's not nearly as tired. He sat out the last time you were getting worked by Brandon Graham or Hassan Riddick. Now you're getting worked by Josh Sweat. And that's where you can see in these games, the Eagles are just able to wear these fucking teams down while they figure out what they need to do to stop somebody. But, I mean, Dak looked great. Dak wasn't the problem, but he did step out of bounds. There was those stupid little blunders that always affect the Cowboys in these games late.
That's the only blunder. People were saying about the tight end with his knee. If we wanted to dissect that play, we want to talk about all these flags being thrown. How is that the one play where we don't see a flag?
But you guys,
my buddy even showed me this screenshot because I just thought it even live.
I know where
homeboy was tackling him.
Because number one, that's a bad pass. So that pass was low and down where he was having to go down to catch that ball. And while he's in coverage, he is allowed to make a play on the ball. So he wasn't trying to tackle him. He was trying to reach in front of him and slap the ball. No, that's exactly what he was doing. And yes, he had his arm.
You can't make full contact with the player.
If the player's going down to the ground already to try to catch the ball, it's not like he was able. That was a bad pass by Dak.
And then there was another penalty that actually went y'all's way, vice versa, where it was actually one of our good offensive drives. And it was clear as day when they showed the replay. It happened right with the ref, running with them and looking at it. where your defender held, was it Cooks or held our guy by the arm. It was just a clear hold, no call. And then the next possession, the Eagles, I forget what receiver it was of y'all, but it was literally contact by both. Like they both were jarring each other, and that was pass interference. And I was like, come on, officials. Like, bad or good calling. I just want some consistency. And I feel like I haven't watched a game this whole year without like just consistency.
Oh yeah, no, the officiating in that game was super bad. But then in turn, there's dumb shit that like I'm saying, stepping out of bounds on the 2-point. They would have kicked a field goal and gone to OT. Would have kicked a field.
But we don't know what would have happened.
No,
so
no.
That's the thing,
let's say if he gets it and we go 3 and out and have to punt, and y'all have to kick a field goal to tie the game and potentially go to OT, you kick that field goal. You're going to move. You guys are moving the ball.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying we don't know what happens in OT.
No, exactly. We don't know, but your approach to the game would have been different. But then they gift the Cowboys 60 yards there. It gets you guys down to like the 6-yard line, 1st and goal from the 6, and you have somebody line up in an illegal formation because he doesn't announce himself. And it's not up to the quarterback. Yeah. He has to go tell the ref that he is marked as eligible. The player does, not Dak, not anybody. He has to go tell that official, "Hey, I'm marked as eligible." And then that's when he announces, "Number 71 is marked as eligible." And then the play starts. That's always what happens. But they didn't do that, and that's a blunder. That's instantly, boom, backs him up. Then Dak takes 2 sacks when he can't take 2 sacks because the O-line's tired. And,
no, just 1 sack. It was 1 sack.
Oh, sorry, 1 sack. But he took a sack.
Because then he rushed instead of spiking the ball. And then that just wasted a play and more time. And it was a shit show on both sides at the end. Then it was just kind of a fucking nut. It was just like, well, how is this game gonna end?
If the Cowboys,
who's making the last mistake?
The Cowboys in a 2-minute drill are bad. Cowboys in a
time management wise.
No, but not just that. Like in their 2-minute drill offense, they're bad at the end of a game. At the end of the first half, sure. End of the game, no, they're terrible in their clock management. And the Cowboys and the Eagles got to play better. I mean, Dallas Goedert, I thought that was a pretty nasty tackle. Seemed a little weird. It's a little sketch, but he should be back in like 4 weeks. So, I mean, if I was Bell, I'd be super careful the next time he was running around out there when he's playing the Eagles. No, I'm just saying he's going to get somebody's going to try to ear hole him for that tackle.
I have Goddard on my fantasy, and of course, first game I start him again. After I've sat him, when he gets 20 points each sit, fucking that happens. I was like, great.
But no, like someone like a Lane Johnson or someone like that. And they started rookie Steen at guard, the Eagles did. And he didn't play too bad against Micah Parsons. But I mean, it was
No, I'm excited we get to play each other like sooner than later, too.
Yeah, normally it's later.
After this week, 3 weeks?
Yeah, so it's like three games away. So it should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, good game. Eagles are up 2.5 games in the division. That's huge, especially going into playing teams that they're playing. But like I said, if they're playing the Bills, now it looks like a time they'd want to be playing the Bills. The Eagles have played a lot of games on the road. I don't think people have really noticed how many games the Eagles have actually had to play on the road so far. They've played a lot of their games, these close games. The team knows how to win on the road. It'll be interesting to see, especially cold weather Philly. But yeah, I mean, Eagles end up pulling it out. Cowboys 5-3. That's what I'm saying. That little 5-3, 5-4 window. There's a lot of teams in that. It's like Cowboys Bengals. That would be a really good game to watch right now. But you see the Chargers, and it's not a surprise y'all kicked the shit out of the Chargers. Their offense is very dysfunctional. The fact that they only put up like 27 points in the game they played is like kind of cringeworthy. I don't think Justin Herbert didn't even throw a touchdown. Like, they don't look that good. The Chargers don't. Chargers don't look good, and they're right there at the middle of like.
I tried to get Warden to trade me Mahomes for Herbert because he's last place in our league. And he has Mahomes. I'm like, bro, you're done for the season. Just come on. Do a pity trade.
No, he's going to keep him just to stick it to you. That's how this works.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
All right. Well, those are the games from last week. Let's get into bets with 2.0. How did we do in bets, sir?
Last week we went 1-1. Only had 2 bets. Thursday night, the Steelers covered the 2.5 against the Titans. And then the Bills did not cover the +3 against the Bengals. Ended up losing by 6, I think. That was a close back and forth game. Could have gone either way, just it didn't happen to go our way this time. That's how it goes. This week, though, we got 5 plays.
Oh.
That's my lucky
Yes,
number.
sir. Oh. Well, I'm hoping we'll go 5-0. So, first up, we got the Patriots money line against the Colts. So yes, the Colts have been playing bad, but the Patriots have been playing bad, but the Colts have been playing bad too. They did put up 27 against the Panthers last week, but they also had 2 pick sixes against Bryce Young. So their offense only actually put up 13 points against a battered Panthers defense that's been giving up points left and right to everybody. And then the strength of the Colts offense is their ground game, while the Patriots have the second-ranked defense in rush yards per play. So that's going to force Gardner Minshew to have to throw the ball, which for the sake of this bet, I think favors the Patriots. And then last week, the Panthers put up nearly 140 yards rushing against the Colts defense. So I expect Ramondre Stevenson to have a big day. He's going to go off, take some of the pressure off of Mac Jones, and we just need them to win here. I think they'll pull off a slight upset. I think spread-wise they're +1, +1.5. You can take that if you like, but when the spread is that little, just take the money line.
Yeah. So Pats over Colts. Okay, I like that.
So then we got the Titans at the Buccaneers over 37.5. So this total just seems really low to me. For starters, both teams have really bad defenses. The Buccaneers have given up 20 points in 3 of their last 4 games, while the Titans have given up at least 20 points in all 4 of their last games. Then, like we mentioned earlier, Will Levis is looking really good. He's throwing the ball downfield. He's gaining confidence. He's getting chemistry with these wide receivers. The Bucs' pass defense is horrible. It's one of the worst in the league. And then Baker Mayfield has proven that he can move the ball. He's not going to go out there and win games, but he can put up like 250, 260. And I think that'll be enough combined to get us over this extremely low total. You can find 38 out there. I like 37.5 more in case you get like a 21-17 type of game. I think it'll be a lot higher scoring than that, but just something to note if you can shop around and find different lines. But yeah, Titans at Buccaneers over 37.5.
I like that. Just a shoot. I think the game's going to be more of a shootout.
Yeah.
Than anything.
So next up, we got the Lions -3 against the Chargers. So yeah, the Chargers are coming off 2 primetime wins, but they was against the Bears and it was against the Jets. So I'm not really putting too much stock into how well the Chargers have looked recently. They still don't have the best defense. Offense, it can be okay. The Lions are coming in here off of the bye week after getting absolutely humiliated by the Ravens. You know Dan Campbell isn't gonna let the Lions come out here and lose again. Coming off the bye week, they're able to get healthy. They're able to have that extra time to prepare for the Chargers, and I think that's gonna pay dividends here. I'd make this line closer to like -4, -5, so I think it's a steal that we're getting it at a field goal. So I like the Lions -3 against the Chargers.
Okay.
I think Chargers win. That's my take.
I'll bet you.
My buddy wanted to. He was wasted, but after the game, he wanted to bet me $1,000 that the Cowboys make it farther in the playoffs than the Eagles.
Should have taken the
Who
money.
is this? Who is this?
It's just my buddy. I don't want to say his name on air, but I know I was like, should I take this bet? It's pretty good. You think? Because like, what if they don't even make it? What if the Cowboys don't even make the playoffs?
Then you win.
I know.
Do I know it?
What if we
Do
get
I know him?
Yeah, you would know him or know of him. Yeah.
Okay.
He was talking mad shit and was losing his mind that I wouldn't talk shit back during the game. Like, could be like, you're a coward. Quit being a coward and talk shit back. He said something like,
I know,
earlier in the morning, he was like,
wonder.
Earlier in the morning, he was like, hey, do you think that the Eagles are gonna win? I'm like, I sure hope so. He's like, you motherfucker. I never like give him anything. Because you can't. No. But like, so whenever y'all start talking shit to each other, I'm just like, well, hold on. Or I'm watching the game, or I'm drunk.
When I said radio silence, you were like, oh, I'm
driving, boy. Yeah.
Like, that radio silence wasn't towards you. That was towards the original shit talker.
Oh, no, I figured that out. I thought so. I was just saying why I wasn't saying anything. But I figured as much. Yeah, I mean, and then he didn't say anything after that. So, yeah, that's a shame.
Typical.
It's a shame. Or what's your other plays?
Next, so 2 more plays here. So we're the Giants at the Cowboys, taking the Cowboys team total over 27.5. Oh. Week 1, the Cowboys absolutely obliterated the Giants. I think it's going to be a similar story here. The Giants not really playing for much. Just lost their starting quarterback. They just aren't looking that well. They're going into Dallas to try and like play this Cowboys team again. Don't really love this game here. The spread here was 16.5, which is just way too much for me to lay, especially in an NFL game with division rivals. But I do think the Cowboys offense has been clicking well enough to get 28 points, and at plus money, I like it a lot. Yeah, Cowboys team total over 27.5.
You don't think DeVito's going to pull it off?
No,
I mean, he can.
Hey, Tommy D. Hey, it's your favorite quarterback.
To that point, I think, like, Cowboys also have a history of coming in with their heads a little too high against an opponent like the Giants. But
they're going to be pissed. The Cowboys are going to be mad.
After losing to the Eagles in that close game with another division game, right? They're coming in like, we ain't losing.
Mm-hmm.
If we had beaten the Eagles, I could see the Giants in that first quarter, right, kind of like popping us in our mouth and us kind of being like, oh, shit, this is an NFL team. We kind of forgot, We thought this was going to be a walk in the park, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so last play here, we got a teaser. It wouldn't be right to do this without a teaser. So Texans at the Bengals. We're teasing the Bengals from -6.5 to just half a point. And then the Browns at the Ravens. We're teasing the Ravens from -6 to -0, so a pick 'em essentially. With this, we just need my computer's about to die. We just need the Bengals and the Ravens to beat these 2 teams. Yeah, the Texans did go off last week, but that was against the Buccaneers, who have shown that they just aren't that good of a team. They are not on the same level as the Bengals, and the game is in Cincinnati. I think the Bengals are getting hot at the right time, and I think might not cover, but they won't have any issue winning this game. Then same thing with the Ravens. Ravens have been playing out of their minds recently, while the Browns get Deshaun Watson back, but have been struggling. Again, I just need the Ravens to win, and with how well they've been playing recently, I don't see them having any issues doing that.
It'll just
I would love Deshaun's first comeback to lose.
It'll be it'll be their offense versus the Browns' defense, which is a really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
A really good defense. Yeah, the team they played last week only put up 53 yards in the Cardinals, but they had to stop them for 53 yards. Like, you still actually have to stop them. Like, the Browns defense is really scary, so that'll be a good matchup. So we've seen that, the Ravens can just run the ball all over non-physical teams. Browns defense is physical and fast. They got some ball hawks. They got talent all over the defensive line and in their secondary. They can line up. It's going to be an interesting game. Because I take their starting corner over any starting receiver on the Ravens. I'd take the Browns corner to win that matchup. I'd take Denzel Ward over any of those guys. Oh yeah, definitely. Denzel Ward's one of the best. He's $100 million corner. Like, and he's good and he's quiet. You don't hear shit about him. And then I would take anybody on the offensive line versus what's his name? How am I spacing on his name? They're big. Myles Garrett. I take him over anybody on the O-line in that matchup. So that's going to be a really good game. That's a noon game on Sunday. So that's a great first game to start the day. That's going to be
the true America's game of the week. You calling it?
That's just going to be. I mean, I think that might be one of the better matchups all week when you think about it. Bengals Texans will be good. Well, you hope, but if it goes how you think it will, then it won't be a good game. Jags Niners will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Jags Niners will be a good game because if the Jags win that, all cobwebs off, they'll have arrived. If the Niners lose, that's what coming off a bye week.
4 in a row.
4 in a row. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks lost, so the Seahawks have first place. Even though, because they have they were in first place. Niners were off. Niners lose again, man. They're just sitting there. That's why I'm saying it'll be interesting to see who gets these wild card in these play-in spots. There's so many teams at this 5-3, 5-4, kind of hovering and floating with all these other non-divisional games coming up. It could be just like roll the dice. Like, oh, this team needs to lose and they need to win. These two teams need to win, and we need Carolina to, beat the fucking Seahawks, and if they do that, then the Cowboys are in. It's always some weird. It looks like it's gonna be one of those years. And the AFC, the top of the AFC looks better than any of the teams in the NFC, Eagles included. The way they've played right now, if you look at like the Chiefs or the Ravens, a lot of those teams, the Eagles look great, but I would say who's playing better football right now? The Bengals look like they're playing better football. There's a lot, like they're winning prettier. That's coming way more from the AFC than it is the NFC right now. And when we've played, whenever they've bridged that gap, Ravens have smoked the shit out of two teams that were like, oh, those teams are good. And they're like, no, they're not. Seahawks were in first place in their division, got beat by over 30, and the same with the Lions. Smoked. So, we'll see. You said your computer's dying?
Yeah.
Well, that's bets. I'm not going to rip into you too much, I would, but...
I can't believe Andy didn't show up.
What?
I said I can't believe Andy didn't show up. Just talk shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not coming back, man. Maybe that's it.
Damn. Did he tell that to you?
No.
You just
I mean, maybe that's a... he's busy. He's got shit going on, so maybe he has his reasons, but, maybe that's it. It was just he was here with us for a bit, and then he vanished. Although he was super pissed whenever you joined the podcast last week.
Oh, yeah. I meant to try to watch the episode just to see his reaction.
No, dude, my shit kept dropping, so I've worked on it. Notice how we haven't had any drops or any issues. So I've actually been working on it, so I think I got it figured out. But
nice.
This seems to be running pretty damn smooth. I've had no issues with anything. Awesome. But no, man, I appreciate you guys being here again. Ha Elwood, fuck you, fuck the Cowboys, fuck that Prescott, fuck your dirty ass defensive players and the raunchy ass tackles getting people hurt, clown shoes. Fuck y'all. We got the first round. So I'm gonna talk shit because we got the first round. It is what it is. We'll play again.
Did you see that clip? Did you see that clip on TV where 2 refs, or maybe even 3, were talking to your coach Sirianni? And I swear I heard I'm pretty good at reading people's lips and what they're saying.
Yeah, that's one of your talents.
He literally came over and was like, "Hey, do you not remember we paid y'all? What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, that's right.
Both teams had 10 penalties, man. There were some bad calls all over the place, man. All bad calls all over the place. Missed holds all over the place. Everything all over. I could go and find videos and point out to you where there was bad calls on the Eagles that cost us shit. The refs in a lot of games just look really fucking bad. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm glad we won going into our bye week. That's great, and they're in great position in the division. Oh, we lost Joe. His computer died.
His computer died. Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
no.
Like the refs ruined that. But nah, man, I appreciate you being here. We can't continue without 2.0, but we lost him. Shout out Rangers.
Yeah.
Shout out Rangers.
Yeah, how sick is this hat, bro?
It's pretty sick. How many shirts and hats, championship things have you bought?
Just one shirt, 2 hats.
Oh, okay, well that's fine.
This shirt was dope, dude. I saw it and I was like, and it's a dry fit or whatever.
Of course it is. It's your dad levels. It's dry fit, so it keeps me cool. I'm doing yard work.
I had like a vomit burp. Jesus.
Disgusting.
Christ.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Elwood. Always a pleasure. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, come over soon.
Yeah, I'll text you off air, sir.
All
right, peace. Love you, man. Be good. Later. Be ever so good, Elwood. Well, that's it. Number 34. No connection issues. Yay. Number 34 down. Dang, it ended up being longer than I thought. Eagles win on a bye week. We'll see. Cowboys got some easy wins coming up ahead, but I appreciate y'all coming by. Angry Black Quarterback out. Peace. Thanks, y'all. Stay safe.